alchemize your energy. Darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. Alchemize your energy, my friend. Let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, we will always take flight. Keep on pushing through the darkness of night. There's no limit, let's reach for the sky. Shine so bright, from darkness to light.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome to Alchemizing Energy. So, lately I have been kind of joining these different panels, discussing different topics, you know what I'm saying, when it comes down to relationships. So, this guy, No Fugazi Cooley, has a show where he talks about relationships and debates people. And I was on his show before and it got really crazy. The conversation got really wild, you know what I'm saying? And so, hey, thank you. Thank you. That is on my that's going to be coming up on my new album, Kabranji, Alchemizing Energy Part 2. I've been doing a lot of different like albums, writing songs and things like that. So please look forward to some new music coming out on my new album. I'll be posting a link to my previous album that you can find on YouTube. And Spotify. And so that's like the one of the songs that will be on my new album, and it's also the intro to the Alchemizing Energy podcast. It was all written by me, so I am a songwriter, so and a producer. Getting back to the show, the No Fugazi podcast interviews a lot of different people. Yeah, thank you. They interview a lot of different people, mainly like women, and talk about relationships and things like that. The thing about it is that like he comes from a specific standpoint on things, and so I came into the situation, really just like just first feeling him out. The first time I went up there, the conversation got weird. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about that a man could take sex from a woman and all this other stuff, and he ended up having to cut the majority of that out, and then he released it, and then only showed the part of him talking, and then me just agreeing, which is crazy, right? So in the second time I went up there, I came up there and I discussed, AI and its effect on humanity. So let's look at it. So we're gonna like review this video where I came in.
Um, Biblically, I'm not a biblical scholar, so I could tell that your mind is scattered, so you need to focus. And ways to focus, you need to be more disciplined. So act despite how you feel. Do the things that you don't feel like doing. Start there. If you can start there, you'll be more centered, have more linear thinking. You'll be more thinking in a straight line. Then you can focus on your purpose. So after you do the things that you don't feel like doing, you'll see a change in yourself and you'll be more focused. Once you're more focused, you'll know like, okay, what's my purpose? Every man's purpose is to provide a service. We need to be in servitude. We need to serve, right? So how do you serve people? I mean, you could serve people in many ways. Right now I'm serving y'all with some content. Right now, I'm serving y'all with my perspective. Right now, I'm serving y'all with some actual truths and some facts throughout this podcast, right? So someone's gonna listen to it, they're gonna pick it up, they're gonna subscribe, and it's purposeful. It's purposeful content because I'm speaking the truth. Um, so I think if you be more linear thinking, you'll be able to find your purpose. And every man's purpose is to provide a service. That's what it is, man. Beyond that purpose, of course, you have other other things that are purposeful as far as having a family, leaving a legacy, and things like that. No one's saying that that's out, but we're speaking about knowledge, right? Once you find your purpose, you'll know where you need to gain knowledge in. So that's what happens. Find a purpose. So let's just package this up, right? Be more disciplined. Act despite how you feel. Do the things that you don't feel like doing. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's gonna make your mental more less scattered and more linear, straight line thinking. After that, the byproduct of that, you'll be more focused. If you're more focused, you'll be able to find your purpose and find your purpose of where you're going to be of service. Once you could find that, then guess what? You know what you need to have knowledge in, and you apply it to your purpose. I think that made sense. A lot of sense, actually. Okay, we got let's bring up someone else here. Welcome to Oh, you're back. Welcome to No Fugazi Podcast. State your name, where you from?
This is Alchemizing Energy, aka DJ Genesis, Detroit. What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. What's up? Talk to me. We had a debate last week. How'd you like it?
Well, I was like, bro, I didn't get all grapey. I was like, oh,
Oh yeah, the convo got a little bit, got a little bit harsh.
play it on YouTube.
That's Yeah, I know. I had to take the whole thing down, have my editor edit it, and edit out all the parts we were saying stuff.
No, you were saying stuff, sir.
Yeah, I was kind of. Yeah, that was me. That's on me. That's my fault.
Bro.
Look, that's what happens when you do a 4-hour stream and then you came on. You was like the one of the last people that came on.
Right.
But
I'm sorry, I was on mute when I was explaining. So in that stream, like, I was kind of like really giving good points and things like that. And then at some point he just was like, well, we don't even have to do all that. We could just take it. And I'm like, sir, just take it. You know what I'm saying? And so, and then it came into a GRAPE discussion about how men could just take it and this, that, the other. And then, but I made a lot of good points prior to that, but he didn't show that. He cut everything I said out and made it like I was just agreeing with him. So that was interesting. So I came back up here on this time. I said, okay, well, let me just like change. Let me just go with a different subject and see how it goes and see if he just specifically wants to dominate or domineer in the conversation over women, or does he have the ability to just have a regular conversation. And when we did, and then it got kind of went right back into it. So we'll see. Let's check it out.
But anyways, what's up? You here to debate or speak about a topic?
Yeah, I want to talk about something. Okay, so
let's get it.
Last conversation, I told you I was a software engineer, so I'm very in tune with technology. I don't know why my thing is so dark. I don't know what. Let me see if I can like lighten it up a little bit. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
All right. So I want to talk about. Hold on. I was to the wrong side. Okay. I want to talk about AI.
Okay.
I've been talking about everything else, even down to the election, right? How much do you feel that AI? Because we've been like talking about all the regular like subject matters when it comes down to who gets elected. How much do you feel that AI and how the person that gets elected, right, how they feel about AI is going to affect? Because I don't think that no one's giving a crap about AI. And in the next like 5 to 6 years, AI is going to take over, and no one's really addressing that. So I'm like, what do you think about AI? Do you think that it's like a good thing, or do you think it's a bad thing?
I mean, artificial intelligence, that's what we're speaking about. So, with that being said, it's man made. As long as we can control it, you know, then it's like, okay, well, who hands is controlling it? That's maybe what we got to worry about. As far as it getting to the point where we can't control it, where it's a conscious being and it's doing things on its own and it has some type of purpose and compass on its own, then that gets into like, the Terminator and the Matrix movie. I don't think we're there at all. I don't think we're there. Um, Think about it. If we look at the Jetsons and all the old cartoon movies, 2024 was supposed to be flying cars. We ain't got that. We got Instagram. We got the AI algorithm on Instagram. So uh I don't think we're on the break of AI taking over human consciousness and being more powerful and outdoing humans. No, the human mind is still much more powerful than AI. That's what I would say. Of course, AI is good because it remembers things and it has all of this data and it can, move very quickly and process things much faster than humans, just like a calculator can, for sure. Got it. But as far as it being a conscious being, like no, like here's the thing, like we know things like our peripheral vision. Like think about when something comes, we can just be like, boom, oh, you seen it. Think about hearing the small subtle things and how we know it's, oh well, that's the wind blowing and we feel the wind on our face and we're just too complex. AI isn't as complex as human beings currently. It isn't. It is a complex technology, but it isn't to the extent that human beings is complex. God created human beings. We're complex. We don't even think about this. We don't even know how our own biology works. We can't really cure all of these diseases. We can't do a whole lot of things from a biological standpoint or even know about the biological cellular structure and how viruses to eliminate viruses. It all
You know what's funny about me? I cannot hide my face. My face be looking crazy when people talking to me. I'm just realizing that when I'm hearing some stuff that's like and my face will just immediately tell like what, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy. So let's go.
of these things, even with vaccines and all of this, we haven't really got it down to the T, right? With that being said, we creating things ourselves. So we're only creating things based off what we got things down to the T with. So this is why AI isn't as intelligent as a human being until a scientist really figures out human beings and really can make life from nothing, right? And knows all the little pieces of the puzzle as far as the biological structure is, then that's when that same scientist or other scientists can take information and then really build an AI replica of a human being to really compete. Right now, the only thing that AI is going to outcompete with is speed, proficiency. Um, it's especially with art is a huge thing now. Art and music, they're. I mean, Drake got fake songs. That's AI. God dang. You know what I mean? So there's some things that they can definitely outcompete one human mind or even a few human minds, but together, nah, man, we good. What's your thoughts on what I said?
You don't think that the AI is a threat?
I don't think that it's a threat right now. No, because I don't. It's
Right
not. It's not. It's.
next like 6 months or like 3 years from now?
I mean, I would say it all depends. Like, where did we get? Like, we still don't even have flying cars. Elon Musk, he has a device. I forgot what it's called, but it's a chip you put in the mind, and um,
Neuralink. Neuralink.
Neuralink. That's the one where it's
And
for power
actually,
allegiance.
the one guy that actually got the Neuralink is able to like outdo people with all the things he's doing, and he's only had in his brain for like I guess like less than like what 6 months or something like that. So,
Yeah,
have you heard of the singularity where they really plan on trying to merge technology with people and human beings and things like that?
yeah. I mean, that's cool. He can outdo. He can like you got to think about the human mind. Human mind is
Out process quickly. So he's
out
playing
process
video
us. Yeah.
games. He's able to like use Neuralink to like do this. I think what the word is in video gaming, but I don't know what it's called. But it's a thing that they do in video gaming that allows them to like quickly like do certain like
Task
maneuver
maneuvers and
tasks.
stuff like that.
So
But
here's the thing: is
okay.
that I believe that AI is a huge threat. Why? Because it's going to replace human beings jobs. Okay. And there was a website at one point called "Is Your Job Going? Will computers like replace you at some point?" Now,
Uh huh.
like back then, there was a lot of stuff that well, no, it won't be replaced. But Now, if you go on their website, it almost looks like everything will be replaced by computers or robots. Now, when you actually look at the aspect of like robots and like face recognition and things like that, you have like this system of like AI that's actually programmed by the programmer. Who's the programmer, right? And
Hmm.
what are their thoughts? And they're going into this database and finding everything on the internet, which is kind of skewed. Do you think that's going to affect especially African Americans in the future? And let me also talk about the fact that the programmer is the one that's programming things, right? So you have a database of information with people that are programming it that are skewed in their thoughts. So therefore, AI itself will be skewed. When it comes down to facial recognition, there it's known that AI can be racist when it comes down to people of color. They're able to, they'll put you into a category based on your face. That's almost like that show Minority Report, the movie. We are not we have no idea that the people that are creating this have their own database that they're putting like a string of information in, and this information can be skewed, especially according to race. So let's just be real about that.
I mean, you got people coming across the border affecting people. So there's always cause and effect to stuff. Um, I would grant that argument, and I would say that for sure AI would affect jobs. AI has already been affecting jobs, right? Um, that's gonna happen, but I was speaking about in the sense of like actually fully taking over. AI affecting jobs is a huge thing, though. Um, you got to think about it. Like, so if I'm just gonna think science fictionally, right? Here's I'll give you my thoughts on maybe.
Go ahead because I gotta like my door is ringing. So go ahead and talk and I'll come.
Okay, get Shaquisha, bring her on camera too.
I ain't no shock with my daughter. Shock.
Oh, it's your daughter? Oh, my bad, my bad. I thought you had a friend coming over. You said the door was ringing. It's late night.
No, no, my daughter. I'm getting.
Oh,
Some,
you in Detroit? It's a different time zone, right? It
no,
is. What time is it?
I'm in Dallas. So you know.
Oh, okay, okay. You go ahead and get the door. I'll speak when you come back. I'll get to the super chats.
Okay.
Spin City HQ. I see you in here, man. I'll bring you up next. Not only that, if the man doesn't use a condom, did y'all forget back in what was it? Oops.
Well, let me go. Let's start.
Look it up. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that they didn't come up with that they haven't already came up with an AI church. That sounds believable. So I feel you, man.
The Church of Beyonce. See, what really makes you think they're not going to do an AI?
You said they got a what?
A Beyonce church.
They got a Beyonce church.
Hmm.
Like Beyonce has her own church?
Yeah, like almost like worshipers of her. Yeah,
Wait, worshipers of Beyonce?
yeah.
Like she's God?
Mhm.
Is it men in there?
I don't know who's in.
It ain't men, it's just simps.
Well,
Ain't no men. Ain't no they could be a male, but ain't no men in there.
right. It's probably males. But
Yeah. So what's up? We got Jada Bell. I see you coming in
I didn't want to say it, but a lot of gay men are part of the church. So.
here. And then Spin City. I see you in here. I'm gonna bring you up next. I'm gonna have a brief convo with what you say your name was again?
Alchemizing Energy, aka DJ Genesis Detroit.
Oh, I know. I see it all right there. I gotta say all of that. God dang, you don't got a nickname?
Well, Alchemizing Energy is my YouTube channel, so I'm like
What they call you?
DJ.
Kiki, do
DJ.
you love me? Are you right? What they call you? DJ Genesis? Okay, DJ. I call you DJ Genesis. I call you Genesis.
Okay.
So I'm gonna chop it up with Genesis. Everyone, I'm showing some people here that want to join Spin City HQ. I'm gonna bring you up next. Jada Bell, I'll bring you up as well. So we got another woman in here. Don't go anywhere, Jada Bell. Make sure your camera is on as well and your audio is good, Jada. And I'll bring you up. When you put your camera on, you're not going to be in. So you can go ahead and put your camera on now, Jada, so I see that you're ready to go. Okay, cool. Let's go with the AI conversation. What were you speaking about?
So when it really comes down to it, you have like this, you have really Elon Musk kind of like driving the whole AI like ideal.
Well,
And
in America, but
thinking about going to Jupiter. So I don't know exactly what the plan is. Is to like let AI like using AI and maybe like putting consciousness into it and then shipping it off to another planet. But it's some deep stuff going on. But I think that we need to like look into it. I don't know what's going on with it.
yeah, I feel you. When it comes to consciousness and putting consciousness in AI, like we don't even understand consciousness ourselves yet. We don't understand it, right? So with that being said, how would they be able
That's
to
what
understand
you
how
know.
to
What that's what you think. You know what's so crazy. You know how sometimes we could be so smart that we could be stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like if you think that they're gonna tell us all of the technology that they are capable of doing, you are delusional. You know, they have a lot of different things. And I even bring up something later on in this conversation that even stresses my point that things existed in 1995 that are just now coming out now. What do you think? If they had these things in 1995, what do you think they have now? Like, they just are trying to slowly bring it out to us so they don't scare the crap out of us. Now they do have the cures for diseases. They just don't want to give it to us because they know that the pharmaceutical companies are going to profit off of that. You know what I'm saying? And they know that this whole thing is based on capitalism. This whole system is based upon capitalism, and you really you can't like they don't want to destroy an entire uh, 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 field or what I would say market. No, what would I say? Industry, like the pharmaceutical industry, by exposing that they know how to cure everything because the money is not in the cure. The money is in just fixing the symptoms. That's the issue.
put consciousness into AI? Would it, they can say that it's consciousness, but is it truly consciousness if they can't understand it?
Why do
So
you think
like
that we don't understand consciousness right now?
like I mean, we understand it to an extent. Like we know that okay, for example, if you what is it called? You get surgery and you have to be put under through anesthesia. You're unconscious through that time frame, right? So we know that. Well, we can make someone Wait, what? Go ahead. Yeah, just gonna say something.
You might be. Have you ever had surgery before?
I did.
So were you 100% unconscious? Because I know when I had surgery, I was probably to this world unconsciousness, but to whatever the heck was going on,
Listen, I'm a big man. They gave me the big dose.
maybe you was in that dark place where you just like floating in space. Because I know I had a whole like hallucination of being in another place in an office building, living my life, going to the.
Yeah, that's like dreams or whatever. But so I'll explain
But our
consciousness in the
dreams
best of
not
my ability.
consciousness.
These are all new topics that I haven't really spoke out loud about, but fair enough. I guess we'll get into it.
What is consciousness though? Because consciousness.
Well, I'll explain to you what I've heard other scientists say, and I'll give my own perspective on it from what I tend to understand and my experiences with consciousness. Okay. So we know that what we do know, right, through the advent of medical technology, we can make someone unconscious. We know that people that are in a coma, they are unconscious. So meaning that we can identify consciousness and unconsciousness. We can only identify it currently. Not so we can identify it, and then we can also put a human being under the state of unconsciousness. So that's what we can do. We can identify it, and then we can place a human being under the state in the state of unconsciousness through anesthesia. Other than that, the only other thing is we can observe what the things that we observe when we're unconscious and when we're conscious is that we know a conscious being is a being that's aware of self and aware of surroundings, and we also know that and when you're put through anesthesia, not even aware of self and surroundings, but you're aware of time. That's the big thing. Like when you're conscious, you are aware of time. When you're unconscious, you're not aware of time. I know when I had surgery.
Hold on. So you're saying that if you so that time.
So time is being aware of self.
You couldn't hear what I said, but I said you're trying to tell me that time dictates consciousness, and that is the biggest misconception about being conscious. You know, I mean, a lot of people, if you go under, you will experience a whole nother world where you're living in it. It might be weird or whatever, but that's another level of consciousness. So you have consciousness on this earth, and then you have consciousness of like when you're in dreamland, or if you're underneath a certain like hallucinogen, or if you like take ayahuasca, you have a different level, a higher state of consciousness. You understand what I'm saying? And what they're not realizing, what he's not realizing, is that these anesthesiologists understand that they're taking you into a different state of consciousness using things like fentanyl, ketamine, all these different things. All they're doing is taking you out of your body, but put you into what you would call an ego death. You know what I'm saying? So they put you to sleep and you go through an ego death to where you're not aware of your body on this plane, but then you become aware of your body on another plane. So you might not, so you're unconscious to this plane, but you're conscious on another plane. So there's still a level of consciousness. I mean, even if you listen to a person that say they went through a coma, they'll tell you that they were in this dark place and they're very aware of everything in that darkness. It was scary, it was this, that, the other. They had feelings, all these different things. So consciousness is not really big. We only understand consciousness from where we stand, but understand that when you go into these things where they put you under anesthesia or you're in dream state, if you're able to remember your dream, you'll know that that's your consciousness is on a different level of consciousness. So consciousness is not dictated just only by time and your ability to understand who you are here on this earth, but consciousness can actually take on another form when you were given substances that subdue the consciousness on this realm and take you into your head, into your brain, and into different states of consciousness. So let's go.
Health and time is what is it? Is not a substance, is an ingredient to consciousness. It
But
is.
consciousness itself is without time.
But well, I'm talking about being aware of it though, right? So think about, have you ever had surgery? So you said that you did have surgery and
I
you said
have,
that,
and I
got
was
it. So were you aware of time? You wasn't aware of time, meaning that the operation took like 2 hours, but it felt like it was like 5 minutes, or the operation took 2 hours and it felt like it was 2 weeks.
I would say
I can't, I can't hear you. Your audio went down.
okay. I would say I was unaware of time in this realm, but whatever realm I went to in my mind, I
You
was
was aware of time.
time of that realm.
Got it.
Because
So
and
and then we can
let me
speak
tell
about
you
it
something
from,
is
oh,
that
forget about,
I was living a life. I had a whole nother life in that consciousness. I was doing a whole different. I was going to work, doing this, doing that. You know what I'm saying? And then they brought me out of it because it's almost like it felt like a computer program. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like someone when it wore off, it was almost like someone put like a like I don't know. I can't even describe it. How that realm of thought began to break down, and then I became conscious in this realm. So I don't think that people really understand what's happening when you actually are going underneath anesthesia and are going into those higher states. So
what anesthesia does with consciousness. When we sleep, are we really aware of time? No, you be sleeping. Sometimes you be like, nigga, I would felt like I was sleeping forever, but it was only like,
this realm,
nigga, 2 hours.
but the dream might have had a time frame of its own. So what I'm saying is when it really comes down to being able
Well,
to
that's what I'm saying.
consciousness. Hold on, when I say this, is that people there. Listen, the powers that be that are running this whole thing have a
Yeah.
lot more bigger technology. They're like light years ahead of us. I mean, what I, like they planned and replanned way above. They're just slowly eking it out to us. We have no idea where they are in their consciousness and technology, right? So what I'm saying
Okay.
is that we might think it's impossible. Let me just show you the reason why I know that there possibly might be a thing
Where
where
they could take consciousness from a human mind and put it into a.
let me show you why.
Okay. Go ahead.
So okay, one, Vanilla Sky. When did the movie Vanilla Sky come out?
I don't know. It was a while ago.
1994.
It, okay. Go ahead.
1994. In that actual movie, it was about a company that you would go to before you passed away, and then you would take your consciousness and put it into some kind of machine, and you would be able to like with the you made like a contract, and when you died, you would put your consciousness into like some kind of machine, and it would like be freezing your consciousness for a later date when
For a later physical body.
right, right.
Okay. Yeah,
That,
I
that
remember
whole
Vanilla Sky. Yep.
1994. Now, right now in that movie, they had a whole table that was like a touch screen in 1994 that was called.
Okay.
Now, not until recently. So at back in 2000, they came out with the Microsoft Surface. Then in like about like 2000 and like nine, they came out with the actual touch phone, made it smaller, right?
Got it. So you're saying like in the movie they actually had touchscreen stuff. So touchscreen was already out in the early 90s, but then it finally got to the consumer much later. That's what you're saying.
Right. So they
I
showed
get that for
what they
sure.
already have in movies like years before it actually happens, right?
Oh
Because
yeah, 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 for sure. Even our military is way more like the military has technology that we can't even think about, um, and we can't even fathom. But who knows if it will be available to the consumer? So
and here's another thing is that um when you talk about like the technology that they had back then and how it's now being eked out to us now, then he brings up the military. A lot of these movies have military advisors that actually like they actually will get like a technology person from the military so that they can make sure that what they're doing is accurate. A lot of your sci-fi movies, a lot of your war movies, all these different movies that come out that showing technology, they actually have a actual consultant in the military to make sure that things are accurate at some level of degree, right? So if you understand that that Hollywood is contacting the military and getting top secret information and just showing it to us in the movie so that when it comes out, we're not scared and desensitizing us in such of a way, why would you think that, oh well no, this couldn't be that this is, come on now, we need to wake up. And that's the thing about all these distractions that go on in this world, is that we believe we get so caught up in just the mundane. And of course, this conversation is going to veer back off into the men and da 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 da, but I tried to have a higher level conversation just to feel out where people's minds are at, and as much as people want to talk about male female relationships, we don't even understand what system that we're living in and how we're being fooled on so many levels. And
I
then you
get
had
that point.
two AI, you had Vina 46, and then you had
Yeah.
this other robot talk to each other. And at some point, and I might got the robots mixed up because there's so
Yeah.
much going. They began to talk to each other and start to talk, and eventually they began to create their own language and start to talk to each other, and had to unplug them suckers because they didn't know what the heck they were talking about.
So your point.
Like within a 10-minute span of each other, they talked about this, talked about that, and then they just started to communicate in their own language, and that was like quick, boom. So
Okay, and I get what you're saying now. So your point is like, well, you can't really say that because they hide technology from us, meaning that they're already doing things that we have no idea of. I agree with that. I agree with that.
and then it was it got revealed when they did that presentation showing it. They had to hurry up and pull the plug to like not let us know that it had gotten. So you have AGI, you have AI, you have like the singularity when they talked about the singularity to, and there was like an actual timeline to where computers will be able to like surpass the human brain processing speed. And I think that we're pretty much almost like
You think we're there?
85% like there. And
Fair enough. Fair enough. Listen, good convo. The convo that I haven't had on live.
and let me just say this is that they've also been able to connect, actually take brain matter and like connect it and use it as like an actual computer chip, and it was able to process way faster than these normal chips. So when they start to like really incorporate and human beings, combining that with technology, when they actually reveal that they've been doing this for the longest, you know what I'm saying? And because right now, it would probably be like looked down upon and say, listen, we're not using regular processing chips. We're taking carcasses and taking their brain before they pass on while it's still alive, and like putting it into a computer chip and making a faster processor that's faster than anything. When that comes out, you know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna need to be able to somehow get us dumbed down to like say accept it. That's when that AG, that's when it could become sentient, And I think there's a thing that there was an actual thing with Google, and I'm going to get into that after I get into this. where it was a podcast created by Google. It was AI having a podcast, and the podcast itself began to realize that it was actually AI, that they were not real human beings, and it was the creepiest thing ever. And I'm going to show you guys that after this, so stay tuned.
I mean, I have these
Oh, and if you haven't, please like and subscribe. Please click the all on notifications. You know, a lot of times I forget to say that. Please like and subscribe.
combos with my boys. You one of the homies, but good convo. I'm gonna bring some more people up.
And let me also say this: is why do I have to be one of the boys to have this conversation? You know, that's the thing, is that people like these people that do these kind of podcasts really think that women are just so shallow and are thinking we're not thinking of like things like this. You know, we need to like really evaluate how we're looking at we look at each other. You know, we think that you think that, oh, you got to be one of the boys to actually be concerned about AI. That's crazy.
I'll definitely invite you back. I do these Sundays. I'm doing one this Sunday, and then I'm doing another one next Wednesday. I enjoy these convos when we're just chopping it up and talking about things that aren't related to politics or dating and relationships. So,
But
cool.
it is related.
Thanks
to
for the
politics.
convo.
Hold on, let me just say this.
It is. Well,
related. Let me show you
from a macro level, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yes.
micro level.
Micro level too. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So y'all are complaining about women and then bump this. And y'all don't like these women do this, do this, do this. Now you got more men when these robots come out trying to date robots. That's going to be one.
Well, yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
You're going to have, like, even with politics and things like that, these robots and everything's going to control. So pretty
government and stuff like that.
Yeah. And
if we're pushing it out.
First of all, this is getting into the transhumanism debate. That is why it's really being pushed, that transgender, trans this, I'm a trans this, and trans blah, blah, trans, right? So therefore, once we begin to take away the ideal of male and female, then it makes it, then you take away the thought of age and the age of something. You will see people really, really show their true colors when it comes down to what their kinks are. You know what I'm saying? You might see a person with a little baby looking like robot. You know what I'm saying? And he might be fulfilling their desires with that. You know what I'm saying? And when they desensitize us to a certain extent, and they come out with these robots because they want to control the population. Let's make no doubt about it. The whole objective is population control. I think they want to have less human beings on the earth. That's why they're unleashing all these diseases and things like that into the atmosphere, into the earth, because they're trying to cut down on the population. They're trying to starve out a certain amount of people. Only the strong will survive. That's where the eugenics argument comes into play. And then they're going to unleash, through Elon Musk, who seems to be the spearhead of this, these AI robots and this, that, the other. And then people are going to begin to love robots. That is what I feel.
I see what you're saying. If we're pushing it out that far,
your podcast and how you be like, I mean, you don't even realize you're feeding into the narrative that someday you're actually feeding into a narrative of what is it called, the transhumanism. You don't even realize that you yourself are feeding into a transhumanism.
Transhumanism. Explain that again. I didn't catch that. How am I feeding into transhumanism? I know what transhumanism is, but explain it.
Is because, like, as humans, like, okay, when we begin to just kind of start to separate from ourselves, right? And we begin.
I know what transhumanism is, but explain how the conversations about dating and relationships and the things that I speak about is actually going into transhumanism. That's what you stated, right?
Well, if we just start to have disdain for each other and stop procreating, and we say, okay, well, I'd rather just sit on my computer and just talk to this robot.
Well, no, that's what I'm against.
Well, if you're against it, then what are we against? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm against transhumanism. I'm for nuclear family, men and women having great relationships. We are better together than we are apart. I understand what you're talking about, and yeah, that is a transhumanism agenda when it comes to AI.
But here's the thing: is that the argument that he has about relationships are all you think that you trying to bring people back to a time where we are not at right now. You want people to go back into the 20s, and it's like, dude, we are not in the 20s. The conversation needs to change into where we are now, and where we are now is that, and how do you fix it from this standpoint? trying to revert people back to a time where women weren't able to get education, they weren't able to have bank accounts, weren't able to own homes, this, that, the other, and say, well, the man was the head of the household. Let's even talk about how even dating back then, it wasn't even about. It was a business transaction. A woman, a person would come to a family and say, "Well, I need some horses, and I'm willing to sell my daughter to this man to get some horses or some cattle or whatever." It was a trade off going on. That's where the dowry came into play. Women were actually sold off to husbands. And it's still happening in different countries. Like a guy will come in and give that family a certain amount of money. They get their daughter, and then that family gets cattle, sheep, and whatever money that man decides to, whatever dowry that man decides to do. We're unaware of that because we're in American society. But in other societies, you can't just marry their daughter. They'll say, well, listen, my daughter got this, she's that. You need to give us X amount of money to marry our daughter. And so what's happening, and that needs to be, that's like human trafficking in a certain way. But anyways, let's go on.
Where it's already happened. I would say, I would grant you this. Instagram itself and these dating apps and everything is already the start of some transhumanism type of stuff, and even pornography and stuff like that. Just because men can get the same dopamine, they could get a dopamine hit from watching some porn, and women get that same dopamine hit from that men watch porn from getting likes on Instagram. So we're all looking for instant gratification via some type of technology source. So I do get that.
All they gonna need is to be able to plug one of them pocket coochies up to like the thing on computer, and then have their little buddy on the computer
well, yeah,
and plug that up and be getting it in. My thing is that, like, if we keep talking like in like a way that we are like separate and like, oh well, you need to be like this. I don't like you. This conversation where everybody's like, you're a simp, and don't you believe that is kind of gonna feed? Like, okay,
no, it doesn't cause a divide.
Actually, do you agree with Myron Gaines?
Wait, what about Myron Gaines?
Do you agree with him? Like how his
on what?
Like all these bad talking points about women and women suck and da da da. Because I'm like, okay,
tell me a bad talking point Myron Gaines said.
Everything.
Just give me one of them. If you have a clip, I could pull it up. We'll see if it's bad.
I should have prepared for this conversation the way I do. You know what?
It's okay. I could give you a moment.
I'm gonna come back because I was not prepared. But I was really trying to hit on the AI. But when I come back, I'm going to have all that stuff.
All right, have it prepared. Have the stuff prepared for Myron Gaines that you stated, and he has bad talking points. I'll tell you this, right? In regards to this podcast here on No Fugazi.
First of all, when it comes down to Myron Gaines, I wasn't prepared to really like bring up videos of what he said, and I didn't want to bring up something and he'd agree with him. You know what I'm saying? So, bottom line is that what Myron Gaines does is he spew out a lot of like Islamic, like kind of hard, like I would say, really far, like crazy Islamic talking points. You know what I'm saying? When it like almost like Taliban like stuff, hating America, hating this, and then he's from the Sudan and he talks bad about black women all the time. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, dude, if you don't like how the women here in America are, then why won't you just go get a wife in Sudan? And then you can compare. You see, my wife here, but he's not married, and all he does is talk crap about black women. You know what I'm saying? Or certain be this woman, that woman, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And so to me, like that is. It's rhetoric, and so, but like I said, I was not prepared to really get into a debate about that. But yeah, that's really where I was going with that. So,
we speak about male and female intersexual dynamics, right? Meaning that men and women aren't the same, but we are better together than we are apart, right? Okay. With that being said, it's going to be conversations that can be taken out of context if you don't get the full convo, if you just look at the clip instead of watching the full episode. Men lead, women follow. That's just the facts. If it switches, that's when it gets into transhumanism. I'll repeat. If it switches and women are leading and men are following, that's when it gets into transhumanism. Because then, okay, women are leading. Women, generally speaking, they don't want a man They don't want a man that's docile, that's weak, and that they can boss around. They want a leader. Generally speaking, they want someone that they can rely on, someone that they can give some guidance. They want a man that's competent. They want, think about it. They want a man that's better than them in usually all regards. Do you really want a man that's just like you, or you want him better than you so you could be in love with that nigga? Like, are you really gonna respect him and admire him?
First of all, like, okay, women are good at certain things, men are good at others. You know what I'm saying? It's not a thing of like one person leading the other and that the man's going to be leading over the woman the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Bottom line is that we all have our strong points and our weaknesses. You know, yes, a man would probably be better at plumbing than I am. He might be better at fixing things than I am. Might be taller and might be able stronger, be able to like open up things and break, all that different stuff, break things down because of the way their mind works. That does not make him better than the woman. That just makes him good in his capacity. So I don't understand why it has to be this is where I say is like that this argument is divisive. When you have to have one over the other, or one, this one is leading, this one is following. Come on now. Why can't it be that they both like have a leadership and followership based on the situation? You know what I'm saying? Now if I'm having to fix my house up, yeah, I would expect that man to step in and lead that situation. If I'm getting my car fixed, I would expect the man to step up and lead that situation. If my child is sick and he has a cold and whatever and fever, I would expect the woman to be able to lead in that situation. So in each situation, in each circumstance, women can lead and lead in their certain circumstance, and the men lead in their circumstance. It does not have to be like a thing where the woman is subservient and has to be led by a man to survive. If that was the case, then you would not have all these single mothers able to have households, be able to like raise their children and things like that. Now, what's happening is the government is stepping in where the man should be because the man is not working in his full capacity at this moment. But you can't say that, oh, the man is not needs to lead and domineer over the woman in order for that woman to be successful. That's crazy. Like whatever. Like
Admire him if he's just like you, or below you.
yeah, of course not.
Okay, so think about it. But guess what? We will. This is why men lead. I will. You won't do it. You can't respect someone beneath you, but I can respect and love
But I
someone
have
beneath me.
guys that were beneath me. However, this didn't turn out right. So that made me make
But that's what I'm saying.
realize
So
that if you have a man that's beneath you, then it's not a good thing. So it's not that
so
I haven't even tried to do that. I have, and
and it ain't really work. It wasn't a good thing. And we
so the debate of a woman not being able to date a man that's beneath her is mainly because that man then becomes another child. And no one, you're already raising children. Why would you want to raise another child that's like playing video games and not wanting to get up and work, do be a man, and do his part of the household? Now there's certain women that they're lazy too, and that man and that woman, they both just could laze around the house and chill out and smoke weed together and play video games all day long. But if you're in a different level and you date a guy, you're like working and doing this, and you date a guy that just wants to sit up there and play video games all day, it's not going to work. But he's saying, oh, well, I would date beneath me. I would say this is that there'll be a limit. After a while, if that woman's just lazing around the house, ain't doing nothing, he gonna get rid of her too. So it's about equality. It's about one person understanding what their role is and the other person understanding what their role is. It's not about like that you're dating beneath you. You're basically found a person that's willing to cooperate with you.
speak about here, from it comes from a biological standpoint. Women aren't built to lead. You don't even want to lead. So with that being said, since you want,
You can't just draw that conclusion just because I said that I've dated that.
no, the conclusion that I've drawn was that from what you said that you want. You don't want a man that's like you or beneath you. You want a man that's like kind of doing better than you, maybe even a little bit smarter, maybe making some more money, maybe taller and stronger. You want a more competent, you know what I'm saying? You want a man that you can respect and admire. You just admitted that if he's maybe even on your level or beneath you, you really wouldn't
Hold on.
respect them like that.
I would say this is that we each gender has its own lane. You know what I'm saying? One lane
Correct.
is
Gender
not
roles.
beneath or lesser than the other. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, it
I don't
depends
look
on if
at
you look at beneath. I'm not saying beneath as lesser.
beneath is lesser. What the
No, I'm not, but that's not the standpoint I'm saying. right? What I'm saying in regards to like a woman isn't lesser than a man because the man needs the woman to bring forth his legacy. So is she really lesser? No, she ain't really
Right, so I
lesser.
would just say
But
beneath.
then there's other
You
areas
about the
where the
if you're gonna say beneath, you understand what I'm saying? When you say the word beneath, that's a lesser thing. Less beneath is lesser. Equal is equal, and and above is more. So let's not like he. I don't know what kind of semantics he's using here, but come on now, we're not being. He's being. It's not being realistic about what he's saying. Women can't even lead. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like saying that women can lead according to what the function is. You know, there might be things where a man can lead better in that situation. So that does not mean I don't think I think that relationships are give and take. It's not about one person just domineering over the whole thing the whole time. There's going to be a time where the woman is going to have to take the lead, and the man needs to be able to say, "Okay, well, I'll let you take the lead in that situation." A lot of times back in the days, the women were the one who paid the bills. The man would go out and work, and then she actually maintained the household, made sure the bills were paid, made sure everything, the house was clean, made sure the kids were taken care of and going to school, whatever. And now you have women working. So imagine when you have all all these things that you're still doing, and then you're still working. So to me, that's still a leadership role in that relationship, unless you have a person that's a complete housewife and they just ain't doing nothing. Like you're saying the lead, like I don't. It's like, come on now. When you say that the woman is beneath the man, then that's a lesser position. It's not equal position. It's not a give and take. It's I tell you and you do what I say type of situation because you're over somebody. If I'm like the boss over a group of people, I'm leading those people. They are on that level and I'm on the higher level of them. Period. Woman, a woman wants a person above or beneath her. Bottom line is, I would want a person that is on my same level in his uh what I would say capacity.
but Genesis and the things that matter to you,
Let
the
me tell you
leadership.
why. If a person that was
Go
above
ahead.
me, right? Let me just
Yeah.
like this, okay? So I am what you would call a BBW. I'm an overweight woman, right? A man that would be above me probably would not feel like I was adequate, right? So I would want a person that at my level that would appreciate me at my level. But if I try to date outside of that, then it's not going to work out because
Okay, I see.
that
Well, your
person will look
standards is a little bit. Oh,
that person will look
understand.
down on me. My standards are realistic. Okay, if I'm a BBW and I'm dating a billionaire and he's good looking and he's got all this money, and guess how many people I'm competing with? Every woman in the world wants that man. So why would I even put myself in a position where I'm going to be competing with everybody? You know what I'm saying? Unless that guy is really on my level spiritually or mentally to where he's not worried about all those material things in the world, then okay, we're really at the same level. Even though he might have all this money, okay, there's like a common ground. But if you're talking about a person like say like an NBA player, right? He has getting all these women just throwing it at him, and here I come and we're dating. It's he's always going to be looking for what he really wants, which is probably that woman that's thinner and maybe even probably don't even have the same mentality that I have because men are more visual and more adapt to like going with the physical aspect of things, unless you have a person, a man that's like thinking on a higher level. Well, you need to do, try to like, but my thing, but if
Uh,
you're the right partner, then they
okay,
bring you up, but it's not like a thing where they're looking down on you. I don't want to be with someone that's going to look
I
down.
got it. Yeah, that's not the point that I'm making. So
That's
I'll.
where abusive relationships start at when one person looks down on the other.
Oh, now you're saying abuse.
It becomes
Here's.
abusive. Like if I look
Oh,
down on my partner, I'm going to become abusive to that partner.
got it, Genesis. So listen to me real quick. Listen to understand, not to respond. So don't get triggered by the things that I'm saying. Because
And here's nothing. Here we go. Listen to understand, not to respond. That's kind of condescending. Like I have not been listening and not understanding this whole time. We've been able to go back and forth and have a conversation. So I'm very much listening and understanding. I would say this because, a lot of times people want to, like I said, dominate the conversation to make their point. And the bottom line is that, okay, if a man, if they're more visual creatures and they're run by testosterone and those things or whatever, when it really comes down to it, they're gonna like choose what they like really want, you know, and that's not where I'm at, and if I am not what they want, they're either going to begin to badger me to become what they want. And the same thing with a woman. If I'm like dating a man and he's just doing nothing and I'm doing everything, eventually I'm going to start badgering that man and say, okay, well, you need to be doing more. So, and after a while, that becomes abusive. I shouldn't even be dating this guy. You know what I'm saying? If I got to tell him to get up off his behind and go work, I'm not dating the right man. He need to be with a person that's equal to him that doesn't want to work, and that, there's women out there that just don't want to work either, and they will be a great couple together. You know what I'm saying? But me, I'm willing to work. I'm willing to do what I got to do. I'm willing to take care of what I got to take care of, and so therefore there is a level of equality that happens when you are with a person that's equally yoked. That's what the name, equally yoked, and I will give it up to the Bible, where they said don't date someone that you're not equally yoked with.
You got triggered at one time when I said that, you want a man to lead, you want a man above you, stuff like that. So just listen to understand of what I'm saying. I'm going to break it down for you. You admitted that you want a man that's either that's not on your level. I said that would you respect a man and admire a man if he's like on your level or beneath you? Could you really respect them? And I'm speaking about certain specific things. And I said
On my level, yes. Beneath me, no.
that competence, I said strength, I said height, I said the finances.
Say all
These
that. You did not say all
I
that.
did say all of these things. I said you want to be
Okay,
taller,
if he's
stronger. I
on
did
my
say these
level,
things.
hold on. If he's on my level, yeah, cool. But lower than that, no, I wouldn't want someone.
Well, think
And I
about
don't
that,
care
right? So
about height. Here's the thing: I'm
but we're
not
speaking about
superficial like that.
leadership. So now we're getting
I'm not partial to height or different things. Now, I wouldn't want a person that is morbidly like my 600-pound life. I would want a person that like I said, is at my level or above, but not too much above, because that breeds competition. You know what I'm saying? I would actually prefer a person that's on an equal playing ground than I am.
getting somewhere. Let's just speak about your level, because I would say that, quite frankly, you're a woman that you understand standards. You understand that you're not going to shoot your shot with, an athlete, or shoot your shot with a dude that's really out there getting it, because you wouldn't qualify. And I respect that you understand your value and that you understand the type of men that you can get. So, with that being said, I'm saying that
I'm saying
men
that I
lead.
can't get them, but I mean the how I can get them probably would not be that long, because I'm
Okay, yeah, you could get them recreational use only. Yeah, I know they could.
I will be able to get them like but it ain't gonna be like getting them
It
like
ain't gonna be long term. It's gonna be short
it gonna
term.
be
Yeah.
with that.
So Genesis, this is what I'm saying, right?
Let's talk about the BB. Let me just talk about the BBW and like the fetishes. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of guys, they might be a higher level guy, but they would like you because they just like that, on some like fetish type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So I know that, and so therefore I'm not going to date a guy if I know that I'm like way out of his league. I know that this might be just a superficial relationship, so I'm not going to put myself in that position to be dating a guy knowing that he's only there from a superficial or like a physical standpoint, if you know what I mean. And that's even with just women in general. He's talking about that he would date a woman that's lower than him, but it's like, will you date her, will you marry her, or will you just get your rocks off? You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people, you hear like that guy Corey Holcomb, where he talks about he would pick out girls from Walmart or whatever, and then he probably give them a couple dollars and get it on with them and keep it moving. But is he gonna marry that woman? You know what I'm saying? So he's trying to talk around the same point that men do the same thing that women do. The thing is no different. Like I said, in all these arguments that I find, whether it become religion, whether it become male and female relationships, we think that we're operating on a different playing field, a different standpoint, but we're all doing the same thing. And that's the lesson that needs to be learned.
Right. So let's just think about it. I said that men lead, women follow. The reason why men lead and women follow is because that you won't accept the man that's beneath you. And guess what? No woman would. But guess what? I will in those regards. I'll accept the woman that's shorter than me. I'll accept the woman that's weaker than me. I'll accept the woman that's less competent than me. I'll accept the woman that's making less money than me. And guess what? I'll still love her and cherish her. You know what I'm saying? I'll still take a bullet for that woman. I'm in a relationship. That's my girl now. Still
But
take a
would
bullet
you
for that
cheat
woman.
on
That
her
woman is
though?
giving me
But
kids.
hold on. But would you cheat on her though? If
No, that woman is
a
giving
woman
me
came
kids.
along.
Life is great. So this is what I'm saying, right?
So
Men
he
lead,
just
women
basically said
follow
his
because if
girlfriend
a
is
woman,
beneath his woman that he's with right now is beneath him. I wonder how she feels about what he just said. I'm dating one right now. Like, man, sir, you just made basically explain to everybody that your own woman that you are with is beneath you. Not equal, but beneath. That's okay. Lesser than, right?
woman is looking down on a man, she's going to break up with that man. You get it? So if a man isn't in position to lead that woman, meaning that he's better than her in certain regards and the things that she's attracted to, right? Then she's going to grow resentment for him and look down at that man. It isn't going to work. So therefore, men lead, women follow, because the only way a relationship can truly, really work, generally speaking, on a mass level, for relationships to truly work, is if the man is competent and he's masculine and he's assertive and dominant to a degree,
Sure, MD, you can
and
come up.
the woman
Anyone else that want to
admires
come up and
him and
comment, they can
respects
too.
him and looks up to him. Obviously, if she admires and respects him and looks up to him, the only way for that to happen if he's better than her to some degree. Like, do you really admire someone? The man doesn't need to admire the woman.
Here,
Men don't admire women.
hold on,
That doesn't happen. We don't need
men don't admire women. So a man doesn't admire a woman's beauty. A man doesn't admire a woman's ability to. What do you mean? Men don't admire women. Men admire women all the time, at least from a surface level. And then when you get to know that woman, you say, okay, well, I can actually, maybe their conversation. Here's the thing: is that people think that they're doing something different, but they're doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? He's saying that he's able to bring a certain thing to the relationship, and so therefore the woman admires him based on what he's able to bring to the table. But she's not bringing nothing to the table, zero, and you are with her. Really? Come on now. Even Chris Brown, didn't he say something? He said, I won't date a. What did he say? I won't date a broke itch, but I'll make a broke itch rich. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. Whatever he said, I will f a break broke itch and I'll make a broke itch rich or some crazy whatever he said. But hey, what's up, MD Revo?
What's up, buddy? What's up? What's up with you? I see you on it. I see you on it. That came through.
Yeah, hey, what's up? So what did you have to say about this? This conversation?
I just came through and everything like that. So I was checking on the replay when he was like, when you ended with, would you still cheat on? He was talking about his relationship. He was like saying like, um, you wish you could talk to the woman, his woman, and see what she has to say. That's where I stepped at. Can you hear me?
Oh, so basically, I could bring it back a little bit, but we were initially talking about AI, and then we got into a conversation about male and female relationships, and his whole thing is for the male to lead and the woman, and let me just bring it back. So,
right.
Okay.
With that being said, it's going to be conversations that can be taken out of context if you don't get
mute
the
your, I'm
full
mute your mic.
convo, if you just look at the clip instead of watching the full episode. Men lead, women follow. That's just the facts. If it switches, that's when it gets into transhumanism. I'll repeat. If it switches and women are leading and men are following, that's when it gets into transhumanism, because then, okay, women are leading. Women, generally speaking, they don't want a man. They don't want a man that's docile, that's weak, and that they can boss around. They want a leader. Generally speaking, they want someone that they can rely on, someone that they can give some guidance. They want a man that's competent. They want, think about it. They want a man that's better than them in usually all regards. Do you really want a man that's just like you, or you want him better than you so you could be in love with that nigga? Like, are you really gonna respect him and admire him if he's just like you, or below you?
Yeah, of course not.
Okay, so think about it. But guess what? We will. This is why men lead. I will. You won't do it. You can't respect someone beneath you, but I can respect and love
But I
someone
had
beneath me.
guys that were beneath me, however, this just didn't turn out right. So that made me
But that's what I'm saying.
realize
So
that if you have a man that's beneath you, then it's not a good thing. So it's not
so
that I haven't even tried to do that. I have, and
and it ain't really work. It wasn't a good thing. And we speak about here from it comes from a biological standpoint. Women aren't built to lead. You don't even want to lead. So with that being said, since you want
you can't just draw that conclusion just because I said that I've dated that.
no, the conclusion that I've drawn was that from what you said that you want, you don't want a man that's like you or beneath you. You want a man that's like kind of doing better than you, maybe even a little bit smarter, maybe making some more money, maybe taller and stronger. You want a more competent, you know what I'm saying? You want a man that you can respect and admire. You just admitted that if he's maybe even on your level or beneath you, you really wouldn't respect him like that.
I would say this is that we each gender has its own lane. You know what I'm saying? One lane
Correct, gender roles.
beneath or lesser than the other. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, it depends on if you look at beneath. I'm not saying beneath as lesser.
beneath is lesser.
No, I'm not, but that's not the standpoint I'm saying, right? What I'm saying in regards to like a woman isn't lesser than a man because the man needs the woman to bring forth his legacy. So is she really lesser? No, she ain't really lesser. But then there's other areas where the
if you're gonna say beneath a woman, a woman wants a person above or beneath. Or bottom line is, I would want a person that is on my same level in his what I would say capacity.
but Genesis and the things that matter to you, the leadership.
Why, if a person that was above me, right? Let me just practice. Okay, so I am what you would call a BBW. I'm an overweight woman, right? A man that would be above me probably would not feel like I was adequate, right? So I would want a person at my level that would appreciate me at my level. But if I try to date outside of that, then it's not going to work out.
Okay, I see. Well, your standards is a little bit. Oh, I understand.
I mean, say, well, you need to do, try to but my thing, but if you're the right partner, then they bring you up, but it's not like a thing where they're looking down on you. I don't want to be with someone that's going to look down.
I got it. Yeah, that's not the point that I'm making.
That's
so I'll
abusive relationships start out when one person looks down on the other.
Oh, now you're saying abusive.
It becomes abusive. Like if I look down on my partner, I'm going to become abusive to that.
Got it, Genesis. So listen to me real quick. Listen to understand, not to respond. So don't get triggered by the things that I'm saying.
Oh Lord, have mercy with the listen to understand. Anyways,
okay, yeah, you could get them recreational use only. Yeah, I know they can.
I will be able to get them like, but it ain't gonna be like
it ain't gonna be long term. It's gonna be short term. Yeah. So Genesis, this is what I'm saying, right? So let's just think about it. I said that men lead, women follow. The reason why men lead and women follow is because that you won't accept the man that's beneath you, and guess what? No woman would. But guess what? I will in those regards. I'll accept the woman that's shorter than me. I'll accept the woman that's weaker than me. I'll accept the woman that's less competent than me. I'll accept the woman that's making less money than me. And guess what? I'll still love her and cherish her. You know what I'm saying? I'll still take a bullet for that woman. I'm in a relationship. That's my girl now. Still take a bullet for that woman. That woman is giving me kids.
Hold on. But would you cheat on her though?
No, that woman is giving me kids. Life is great. So this is what I'm saying, right? Men lead, women follows, because if a woman is looking down on a man, she's going to break up with that man. You get it? So if a man isn't in position to lead that woman, meaning that he's better than her in certain regards and the things that she's attracted to, right?
Keyword, certain regards.
Resentment for him and look down at that man, it isn't going to work. So therefore, men lead, women follow, because the only way a relationship can truly really work, generally speaking, on a mass level for relationships to truly work, is if the man is competent and he's masculine and he's assertive and dominant to a degree, and the woman admires him and respects him and looks up to him. Obviously, if she admires and respects him and looks up to him, the only way for that to happen is if he's better than her to some degree. Like, do you really admire someone? The man doesn't need to admire the woman. Men don't admire women. That doesn't happen. we don't need admiration to have love. In order for women to have love and respect, in order for the women to have respect, they need to admire you to a degree. And men, we don't really fully.
Man, first of all, in order to like even start a relationship with a person, you have to have some admiration, whether it be what they look like or whatever, what their conversation is. So what is he saying? We both have to admire each other to even be in a relationship. If you look down on the person or you don't admire them to a certain extent, you're not going to want to be in a relationship with them. Either way, from a female standpoint, also from a male. So you mean to tell me you're in a relationship with a woman that you don't even admire or look up to us to a certain extent? That's a lie.
Like one of the ingredients in respect is, I mean, in order for the woman to even get to loving you, she has to respect you first. So in order for the woman to respect you, well, she has.
So a man does not respect a woman and will marry her. So will a man not respect a woman and marry that woman. Maybe they do. If they do, that does not make, what does that make the man look like though?
Can I
That he's
respond?
do anything and just pick any woman based on anything? Like what? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Let me respond to that. So, so the thing with dude is this, man. I mean, when we look at relationships, you know, what I mean, when we look at relationships, we have to be able to look at what do we want, what are we in a relationship for, right? What is the reason, right? And then we have to be able to look at, you know, what I'm saying, can in a relationship, can we be as powerful as we possibly can be? That's first. So before I go into a relationship, or before a woman, I'm gonna put it on a woman. If a woman before she go in a relationship, is she as powerful as she possibly can be? And because the thing is that all these talking points that these dudes be having is because a woman, he only can be with a woman that's beneath him and lower than him. That means that she can't be as powerful as she want to be. If a woman had her own crib, her own car, her own empires, her own armies and things like that, and could lead herself, he couldn't stand next to a woman like that. See, that's the problem. These males need handicapped, retarded women who can't lead themselves. Now, there's a lot of women in this world that can actually lead themselves. If we look at a lot of our grandparents, when our grandfathers were gone doing whatever, them women were still leading the house, them women were still going to work, and them women were still taking care of them kids and taking care of themselves, man, without no man. I've seen that happen. So, so the idea that a woman cannot lead herself or she has to be dependent on another man to be able to get somewhere in her life, dude, is bullshit. That's just bullshit.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Because what that dude don't understand is that, you know what I mean, and another thing, every woman ain't the same. Every woman don't have the same things that they look for in a man. See, a lot of women look for character. A lot of women look for genuine attention and love and things like that. They look for different things. They don't look for, a lot of women can provide for themselves. That's the thing. When you go against these dudes, if a woman says this, I can provide, I can take care of myself. My father or my mother or wherever my grandmother taught me how to take care of myself. Watch how them dudes start withering away. He starts saying, you can't do it. You're not supposed to know how to take care of yourself. You're not supposed to have freedom. You're supposed to let me do it. That sounds like some slavery shit. That sounds like some shit back in the plantation, man. So when I listen to them dudes talk like that, man, it's all just garbage. And I would want to hear what his woman have to be able to say. Because the reason why his woman is dependent on him because she don't know how to take care of her own self.
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
That's what I believe too. Is like why would you accept a person saying that you're incapable of doing anything and all this other? That's crazy. Like what?
Yeah, that's what that's what I'm
Actually,
saying.
admire you
The
to
reason
a
why
degree, and she also has.
Go ahead.
no, I'm just saying before you start. The reason why when he said the part where I would still accept somebody less than me, I still would accept somebody lower than me or beneath me or shorter than me. Yes, you will because you want to control her whole life. You know what I'm saying? That's why you're gonna accept the lesser woman that's like you said beneath them that don't really have nothing, that's not really attractive, that can't really do this. You're gonna accept that handicapped woman, yeah. But when a woman over there who can do that shit for herself, you know what I'm saying? Because the reason why a woman pretty much, now I can't say all women is gonna accept somebody lesser because a lot of them do. A lot of women go in relationships, I mean, with a dude that's shorter than him, shorter than her, make less money than him, all that type of stuff. And them dudes be ungrateful as hell, man. After that woman that poured all into that dude when he ain't had shit, and then she helped him get on his feet. What did that man do though? He bounced.
Right. The moment he got what he wanted, he's out the door.
He out the door. Exactly.
And that's what I know. You know what I'm saying? And I've been there before. I've been with guys that are like millionaires and this, that, the other. Like, yeah, listen, don't let the over. You know, I might be overweight, but I've had men. You know what I'm saying? I've had all kind of different calibers of dude. And the moment that they got to where they wanted to be, or whatever, that they was out the door. You know what I'm saying? Because they got what they wanted. I'm helping them build up their company. I'm helping them. You know, because the women don't just only bring taking care of and cooking and cleaning and whatever. A lot of times a woman will pour into a guy whatever his ideas are. You know what I'm saying? A woman will come into a situation and say, oh, okay, you're trying to do this. They become like the secretary. You know, you see that with Anton Daniels. You know what I'm saying? You see that his wife is running his whole show. You know what I'm saying? Running his booking his appearances and all that type of stuff. But then he'll talk bad about single mothers and this, that, the other. But any woman in her right mind is able to work in that capacity to support her man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the part that I didn't like. That's the shit I don't like. You know. I'm sorry. Were you saying something? Go ahead.
No,
There's like
no,
there was an
no,
echo.
no. What I was saying, I agree. Yeah, I agree with you totally. You know what I'm saying? The thing is that a lot of the dudes like, you know what I mean, like that and everything like that. We need to talk to the woman, right? Because we never get to hear the woman and how she feel about a relationship. You know, ask her those questions and things like that. And then one thing, you know what I mean, when you look at dudes like that, if you take the woman away, he gonna crumble. He gonna go need another woman quick because he can't survive on this world on his own masculine energy. The reason why these dudes are so powerful is because the women, they have their own masculine energy, and the woman depletes her feminine energy to give it to him. So he need all that in order to build some shit. He need all that to be able to make some shit happen. But as soon as you take that woman away and force him to be able to do it himself without no female, or do it like this, go get a whole bunch of other men that's strong like you and build some shit.
You know, here's a question I want to ask him: Is does that woman that you have in your life make your life easier in any capacity? Whether it be where you don't have to cook, or you don't have to clean, or you don't have to take care of the kids, where it allows you to be able to like do your podcast uninterrupted, you know, not having to like leave, leave out the kids are crying, whatever. Does that make your life a little bit easier? You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, then why is she beneath you?
There you go. When she take care of that household, take care of them kids, like how you said, have some peace and quiet while he can do the household. How is she beneath him? How is she been? Yeah, exactly. How is she beneath him? Like for real.
Why is she not just a contributing aspect of your whole? You know what I'm saying? Or you guys are working together in your household.
Right.
You
Yeah,
understand what I'm?
I got you. I understand.
And see, a lot of marriages, when you really get into them, you'll find out that they work 50-50. When he can't do it, she can. When she can't do it, he can. They work together. Those are the marriages that are like, successful. When you have
Right.
lording over the other, that was back in the day where women didn't even have the ability to like do that because of laws and things that were up, and women couldn't own houses, they couldn't have bank accounts, they couldn't do this. So now that women are capable of doing these things, we are able to like take care of households by ourselves. Why? Because we've been doing it for the men so long that we have a certain aspect of our personality to allow us to do that.
Yes, and the woman is built like that as well. That's a leadership position to be able to run a whole household. See the man. If the man loses his job, if he got a good household, he can rebuild himself. But if you ain't got no good household and you lose your job, it's harder for you. So you know
And
what I
if
mean. So go ahead.
I wonder if when he gets his check, from to YouTube or whatever he's doing, right? I'm not sure if he has a full-time job or not. Does he not hand that money over to the woman so that she can like do the books and do the bills and do this and do the taxes and everything like that? I can guarantee you he probably does.
Probably, yeah.
Because he wouldn't have time to even do all this.
Mhm.
If he had to do all like the mundane work, you know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have time to do a podcast.
You see what I'm saying? That's the value. That's the value in a woman right there. That's the extreme value right there. Because what it is in those relationships like that, what he's talking about is that the woman has to throw away her God-given purpose of what she's supposed to be doing in this world to follow him. That's the trade-off. You know what I'm saying? Because he can't do it if a woman is on her purpose. He don't know how to mesh that together. You know what I'm saying? Where she powerful and he powerful. She got to become powerless in order for him to be powerful.
Right. Because guess what? When he trying to do this podcast, if she was like, say, a doctor or something like that, because he didn't say dating a woman above him. He's talking about a woman that's lesser than, right? He said, well, man date lesser than. But I should say, well, will man date better than? You know what I'm saying? And then what does that put you in? What position does that put you in? Because now she don't have time to watch the kids because she's in the emergency room all day long or at the hospital, taking care of working and stuff like that.
Right.
So now you're watching the kids and your podcast, might get interrupted in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? You'll see me talking. My kids will come in and interrupt me when I'm doing my podcast.
Right.
So now what happens? And do you have the patience to do both?
That's what I'm saying. So the thing is that the man, see, that's why I say it's kind of like slavery, because the man knows how to do that already. Those are basic life skills: cooking and cleaning for yourself. And if you got your own crib to cook for yourself, to clean for yourself, to clean your house yourself, and to watch your own children, those are life basic masculine skills. Every male, if calling himself a man, should be able to do those things, right? So the thing is, when you have a woman come in and she's doing them things for you, right? When you know you already know how to do, and she forfeits her job, doctor, or her career to be a doctor and everything like that, that's bogus, dude. That's bullshit.
Well, it also like I said, she's acquiescing to the male to be able to allow him to be the leader. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about that the fact that women are followers. It's a matter of that they're acquiescing their position where they could rightfully so be as equally as powerful as the male, but they acquiesce to allow the male to stand up in his manhood and be what he has to be. It does not mean that the woman is not capable of doing equal or better than.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So when we look at society like that, look at look at what women have done. Women, there's not too many things that a man could do right now that a woman can't do if she had freedom to be able to do it. Like, you know what I mean? If we look at sports, we look at construction, we look at all the things that women was robbed of back in the day because men wanted to do it. Once you put the woman in that field and gave her freedom to have access to information and knowledge like that man, she she went past them. A lot of the time, dude. There's a lot of look at the governors in the United States. Man, we got female governors now. We got female mayors. We have female police chiefs. Those were jobs that was just intended for men. Women came in there and they started to make that happen. So we're talking about leadership. You cannot tell me that a woman does not have leadership skills better than a man. If they're able to do that, if you're a governor,
Was is that we women lead to transhumanism, and I still don't understand that argument. He never really propounded upon that or expounded upon that. Like say, okay,
right,
this is how women lead to transhumanism. He just said that they do,
right.
and he probably is going to get to the fact that women like will get into that argument of like the transgender and support their children because here's the thing is that you could any one of us women could have a child that decides they want to be transgender.
What?
So
I
what
missed
would
that.
happen? So how does a woman deal with that? Do they like just turn their back on their children, or do they support them in some kind of a way?
Okay, you got to go back. I missed that about the transgender part. I missed that.
Because we were getting into transhumanism. First, I got into the whole transgender argument and how that is leading to transhumanism. The whole like push on that whole thing. The LGBTQIAP, what I'm saying, thing is really a thing of accepting the whole. Think about the words binary. I'm non-binary. All these
Right,
things are computer-like sounding things. So you
right.
get us like talking like a computer. Then when the computers come out with the robot technology type of stuff, then it'll be okay for us to like fool around with like a childlike looking robot. You know what I'm saying? If you're a
Mhm.
pedophile or a P, if you are on the other level on different like it allows for people to be able to have more kinks and those kinks be able to like be out in the open more because
Mhm.
when they start making those SEX robots and stuff like that, that's when all that weird stuff is going to be shown. So they're trying to dumb us down into accepting all types of you know practices like I said, kinks and sexualities and stuff like that. And what's going to happen is eventually that's going to lead to robots and all these other things when those things come out. So don't say sports production. You're wrong on that. No comparison.
Yeah, that's another thing, man. When we look at that community of people as well, it's just like they taking over a lot of different stuff. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that type of thing. But that just shows the evolution of human beings right now. Like some stuff I don't agree with. Like is the P part of the group is when they was
I
like
don't agree with it because it takes away from childbearing and procreation, and I believe that there's a bigger agenda out here trying to reduce the population. You know what I'm saying?
okay, so look at it like this
Fighting
then.
against all these different things, trying to reduce the population. Now they're coming out with robots trying to replace the jobs. That's good. When they have lesser humans, the robots are going to be able to take on the jobs that the humans are no longer doing. We don't even realize what we're being set up for. So they have, so firstly they're doing, they're attacking us from the music industry, and now they have, okay, let's bring all the music industry down. Now we have all this AI music coming out.
Right. Right.
Right. So when
Right.
they get gonna cut down the music and control you through the music, then after that, that's when now they're coming out with robots and then Neuralink and all this stuff. So what I was doing was showing that the arguments that he's doing is feeding into the narrative of transhumanism, because you're creating like a, just like Princella Clark, she's creating like the whole environment for women to like separate from men. You have the men saying, he's like, well, I'm for the nuclear family. It's like, well, I believe that the nuclear family was a myth the whole time. I never believed that the nuclear family really existed.
The nuclear family was created by a white man.
When it really boils down to it, is that you might have your nuclear family, but Papa has also got another nuclear family on the other side of town, where he's got a whole. That's why you have all the people. Oh, I got like 22 brothers and sisters. Why? Because Grandpa was not just in that nuclear family. Grandpa was over here on the other side of town, getting it in. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. So the nuclear family. Yeah. So the nuclear family was like, what I mean, how they say, like a social construct and all that. You know what I mean? For the people, some dude made that up. Some dude from us. If you look it up, man, who created the nuclear family? It wasn't no black person. So if people start, so you see a lot of people in relationships, they are a part of a religion, right? So if you ask that dude, like, what religion are you? Like how you did me the other day, right? Whatever religion, so he has to follow the laws of that religion. So if you are a Christian, one thing you shouldn't be having is you can't have sex without being married, right? You can't have more than one woman, you know what I'm saying, like that. So that's just like the basic. And then it tells you that the woman is your helpmate. She's not your slave. You see what I'm saying? So when we start looking at things like that, so a lot of people are just, you know what I mean, just doing whatever. But that's what America is becoming because of the freedoms. You know what I'm saying? Where we just have to be able to somewhat evolve into what the world is going to be is going to end up being in the future while we have
But here's the
time
thing:
to
it's
evolve.
not just America; it's Japan. Japan right now has the lowest birth rate. They're not. I think within 6 months, no children were born in Japan. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Okay.
So they're having a crisis over there. And then Elon Musk is saying the same thing. It's a crisis. But at one point, he was right along with Bill Gates and everybody else saying that we need to sterilize. And then, do you know that Bill Gates right now is in Kenya giving people money to sterilize themselves in Kenya?
Okay, so when we look at that, right? When we look at that right there, so when we look at these Umar Johnsons and we look at all these different people, these black leaders that people want us to put up on this pedestal, they don't care about stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Like they don't they can't stop. Look, they can only talk about what the white man is doing or white people are doing, but they can't go in there with a plan to stop them from doing stuff in Africa like that. That's why I don't really. That's why I really don't be listening to them too much because they really don't have no real solutions. So what you just said right there is crazy for Bill Gates. I didn't even know that to go into Kenya and pay people to sterilize themselves, and then ain't nobody over here in America, ain't nobody in Africa really going over and talking about and stopping these white people from doing that shit. That shit is crazy to me, dude. Like how is they got how yeah, man. It's just what we gotta look at, man. People just have freedom to implement different things into society, different type of inventions and things like that. And then that's how the world starts to evolve into to greater or to lesser.
You get it? So if a man isn't in position to lead that woman, meaning that he's better than her in certain regards and the things that she's attracted to, right? Then she's going to grow resentment for him and look down at that man. It isn't going to work. So therefore, men lead, women follow, because the only way a relationship can truly, really work, generally speaking, on a mass level for relationships to truly work is if the man is competent and he's masculine and he's assertive and dominant to a degree, and the woman admires him and respects him and looks up to him. Obviously, if she admires and respects him and looks up to him, the only way for that to happen is if he's better than her to some degree. Like, do you really admire someone? The man doesn't need to admire the woman. Men don't admire women. That doesn't happen. we don't need admiration to have love. In order for women to have love and respect, in order for the woman to have respect, they need to admire you to a degree. And men, we don't really fully like one of the ingredients in respect is, I mean, in order for the woman to even get to loving you, she has to respect you first. So in order for the woman to respect you, well, she has to admire you to a degree, and she also has to have a little an ingredient in respect is fear. It's a little fear there, meaning that he could possibly replace me. No, not grape. Chill out, Genesis. We're not talking about physical abuse and stuff like that. We're talking about replace.
You got it. The reason why I said that is because at some point when I talked to him last time, when I was having a logical conversation with him, he just said, "Well, we could just take it. We don't have to like." And because I think he was talking about like childbirth and this, that, the other. And I said, "Well, if a woman gets raped, that's a traumatic thing, and there's like a less of a chance of a woman having a child in that situation." So now he's trying to clean it up and not say that, but he's saying that a woman has to fear the man to a certain extent, as well as admire and respect him in order for that relationship to be successful. And I'm like, what in the hell are you talking about?
That is just right now. That is crazy, right? That's what I'm saying. The woman has to be powerless. You know what I'm saying? He got to put fear in her for her to do something. That's slave master shit. He got to be dominant. He got to dominate his woman. That's slave master shit. That's the only way the relationship is going to work, dude. He has to be able to see. She don't naturally submit to the situation. He gotta make her do that shit. You see what I'm saying? And anytime she's so,
you know what that is? That is no offense, but that is, I would say, like white supremacy.
Okay, there you go. That's what I'm saying.
That is their way of looking at things.
Yep.
He's basically talking white supremacist talking points. Because in African society, it was not necessary for the woman to fear you in order for her to be in love with you or be with you or whatever. Why would you need to add fear into the situation, right?
Mm.
But in white society, right, when you go down into it, there was that aspect of fear. Why? Because the way that the climate that they were in, right, they had to be a little more brutal when it came down to relationships.
Right.
Not to get into the caveman, but I never heard of no African story where a man had to slap a woman upside the head with a club and drag her out the cave.
Right. Yeah.
I did hear that with the Neanderthal. Well, you see a Neanderthal with a club and then banging the woman upside the head, and the next thing you know, he dragging her out, and I guess that's his woman. I guess that's how he chose the woman. But you don't hear that in African society. The woman, was respected. So why should a woman have to fear a man in order to love him?
That's what I'm saying. And look what he said about you correct. And look at what he said about the admire. He said a man does not have to admire his woman. That's a more white man shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to admire, like you don't have admiration for your woman for her doing all the stuff that she needs to do in order for you to be able to grow and be this great man. You don't admire that in a woman for doing all the things that you want her to do, and then you grow. See, that's some bullshit. They want slaves, Genesis. That's all it is. They can't be with no powerful women, dude, that can lead herself. It's gonna be impossible. All of them do. I listen to that dude called the Saint. I listened to the Myron dude at one point. I listened to pretty much all of them. All they whole talking points, what they talk about, cannot happen, dude. If a woman walks in there and says, "I am powerful, I can lead myself, I have my own empire, I have my own armies, my own resources, everything like that," then they say that you can't have no man. So a woman is looking at it like that. This is what I learned in my family. A lot of women put their God-given purpose before a man. That's why when they be in church, they be like saying like, "Well, I don't need you, man. I got Jesus. I don't need you. I got Allah. I got God. I don't need to deal with that abuse. I don't need to deal with that shit. I got my higher power and shit." That's where that shit come from. I've been around that. Well, I've seen that happen. So a lot of these dudes.
Tell you, another thing is that so when I went into abuse, he laughed, right? Mm-hmm. But then he says fear. So fear is abuse. Well, why should I fear you?
Right.
That's abusive. For you to want me to be afraid of you in any kind of way, that's an abusive standpoint. That's you being the all powerful and you being the all fear. You're trying to replace God at that point.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
You shouldn't even fear God because God's a part of you. But in Christianity, it says, well, you should fear God, right? So if you're fearing the man, then you're putting him above your creator.
Yes, there you go, dude. That's a lot is going on. That is a lot going on. You're not even supposed to submit to a man. You're supposed to submit to God.
But when you get into the Christian standpoint, is the God, then your husband, and then you. You know, so you're supposed to look up to the husband, and the husband is supposed to petition to God for you. But the thing is that when you look at it, women are way more spiritual than men are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
So
Yeah.
why would a woman submit to a person that's less spiritual than him and connected to God than he is, and submit to that when the woman is usually the person that brings the spirituality into the household?
There you go, dude. That's all. I know you right on it, Janice.
In order to
Exactly.
fear this person and to be submissive underneath that person should be at an equal playing field. Each person needs to respect one another and their capacity, and there should be no fear involved. That fear that breeds abuse when you fear somebody,
Yeah.
because you don't know whether or not that man's going to abuse the fear that you have of him.
There. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay,
Yeah.
once that woman fears you, then now you have control of her mind, her body, her spirit, everything above.
Yeah.
And
They
if
gonna
you
run
told
into the ground.
the guy's gonna be really like soft and gentle with your spirit,
Yeah. He gonna
when
run
he's
into the
all
ground.
talking about masculinity and testosterone, and you got to be a masculine man. You can't be no simp and this, that, the other, right? So that means that he probably doesn't even have the capability of being soft and gentle to that woman because he's trying to exert his masculinity over her.
Right. When all he's supposed to dominate other men and for resources for his family if he has to. Right. You're not supposed to dominate your woman. Your woman is supposed to have freedom. So if we're in the community, and just say my community is really bad, my masculinity and my dominance is supposed to make my community better to live in, or my surroundings to be better to live in, so my kid and my woman can walk freely with freedom to be able to do what they need to go ahead and do. That's where that shit's supposed to be at. It's supposed to be in the community, in the environment, and dominate other men that's trying to destroy your family and stuff like that. What he talking about is white man slave master on that plantation. He's saying to the woman that you are incapable of leading yourself. I'm not going to teach you how to lead yourself. You're just incapable. Just because you're a woman, you are incapable of knowing what to do with your own life. You're incapable of leading yourself. You don't need to have your own purpose or nothing like that. I am supposed to lead you. That is slave
And tell you
mastership.
what your purpose in life is.
Yeah, don't
Have
even care.
kids, go wash my dishes, make me a sandwich. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? That is that slave master. That's that slave master thinking from back in the day.
But you can see where like he had to give up on the conversation because it was getting so
Yeah. But anyway, Genesis, listen, good convo. Men lead, women follow. I'll have you back on next time. I'll get some more callers up, okay?
right. He had to get
Have a blessed one.
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
man, chat, we do it live. I mean, good convo. Talked about science and stuff like that. That's cool. All right, let's bring up I got no filter. I see you.
And see, here's the thing: is that when I started talking about AI, he said that I was like one of the bros. So it's like his view of women altogether is that women can't. We don't have no in-depth conversations. And he talks about how he chose women as beneath him, and it's like, well, man, well, sir, there's a lot of women that could talk on that level, but you're choosing women that are beneath you and that probably don't know anything lesser than working at Walmart or Walgreens, whatever, and just having your kids. Then that's why it's surprising when you hear a woman talking about AI and like having in-depth conversation about politics, and then that's masculine to you. Like, no, women, come on now.
That's crazy, right? That's crazy. That's crazy, and that's why if his woman leave him, dude, he probably gonna pew her. He probably gonna try to force her to stay. If his woman right now came to him and be like, check this out, I want to be able to start my own business. I want to be celibate. I don't want to have no sex, nothing like that, because I need to channel my feminine energy. I want to just be able to focus on myself and my business. I want you to take on the responsibility of with the kids and everything like that while I build my own business with these people over here outside the house. He not gonna let her do that. And that's godly right there for her to do that.
You understand what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. So it's just that he want. I mean, those type of men, they need retarded women who don't know where they're going in their life. That's the only way that they can be in those relationships. Because anytime a woman is more powerful than him, he gets turned off by it because he know his only way of being in the relationship is being able to dominate somebody that's way weaker than him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here,
And let me just say this: is that let me show you what the title, how he titled this after I got off. listen, debates on feelings versus logic, AI taking over the world, and single mom that got smoked with Cooley. So in his mind, he just thought he smoked me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
That's
you
bullshit.
didn't smoke nothing. You just made the same talking point that you always make. There was nothing smokable about that conversation. You just made come with something different, and then maybe it's smoke. You know what I'm saying? But that's
Right, right, right.
say the same thing every time.
Yeah,
Women
and
lead,
another thing,
and it's statistics and baby mama like let me based on statistics. Well, where'd you get the statistics from, sir? Because I mean, I can make a statistic about it. I mean, I get 3 or 4 or 5 people and then have them take a test and then come back with a statistic. Just because a person has a statistic, don't mean you don't even know what the reason why they made that, what they were trying to prove when they made that statistic.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
you're
all
right.
these statistics, everybody want to bring. Well, this is based on fact. This is a statistic. That don't mean nothing.
Mm-hmm,
You brought up
mm-hmm.
a statistic.
Yeah, you're right,
Anyone
you're
can
right.
make up a statistic and put it out there online and say, "Oh, well, this is the so and so that made this statistic." What are you trying to prove?
Right, right,
What was the
right, right.
reason behind the statistic? You
They
know?
be like 85% of women want this. I'm like, man, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Oh well, women divorce quicker than men. That's one big thing that Anton Daniel. Well, women are divorcing more than men. Why? Why do you think that is? You think they're just divorcing because they just woke up one day and the sun was bright? No, it's because something was going on in that relationship, and it probably is happening on a regular basis between men and women that are making them do this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, well, okay. Let's just open this up about marriage real quick. There is a reason why a man gets on his knees when to ask a woman to marry him. There is like the reason why is because the man knows that he cannot go no further in his life without that woman with him. This is the whole concept of the whole marriage thing, right? You know what I'm saying? This is why because the only reason why a man ever gets on his knees is to surrender to a higher power person, somebody to pray to. If he's in battle and war, he's probably going to surrender so he doesn't get killed. And then he's gonna bow down to a woman on his hands and knees, looking up her in her face, was like, "Would you marry me? Would you be with me
For life, for life.
for life?" That's what I'm saying, for
Sickness,
life.
health, illness, and then one talking point is that okay, if that woman gets sick, do you think that man gonna be? You know how many? It's like 29% of men leave women when they're sick,
Hmm.
like morbidly ill. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right. She had a car accident and both her legs get chopped off. Then it's a whole different situation. Then, right? He
So
ain't trying to be
Kebron
there.
says you're wrong about the knee stuff. You're reaching now. So why do you think that men? Kebron, you want to come up? Why do you think that men get on bended knee to ask a woman to marry? What do you think? What is the culture behind that? Do you know something we don't know? But you can come on up and talk about it. Because just to say, well, that you're reaching, you will give the reason. You know, what's the reason? But anyways, so if he's not going to come up, we're going to go move forward in the conversation because then it became a conversation about like AI. You know, uh so initially I was conversation about AI and how it was like taking over and this at the other. So another guy came up to like debate that stuff.
Jade ago, she had dipped off.
It is to have the elite take.
Let me go back a little further and right here.
I mean, good convo. Talked about science and stuff like that. That's cool. All right, let's bring up. I got no filter. I see you in here. Where did Jada go? She had dipped off. Well, let's bring up Spin City HQ, and then I got no filter. I'm bringing you up next. Welcome to No FUGAZEE podcast. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, bro? How I sound to you?
Hey, man, you sound good. Welcome back, brother.
All right, welcome back. The thing is, I came here to talk on the AI thing. I've been an AI expert for the last 2 years. And,
Talk to me.
On all the artificial intelligence. I work for a company that's in, artificial intelligence. I'm not gonna mention them right now, but Genesis came in here and probably wanted some game on artificial intelligence.
You should have put it. You should have. Yo, man, you should have write that in the chat. Anytime like we got people in the waiting room, because I could bring 3 people up at a time.
I did. I put it in there twice. I said I'm an expert.
I don't write. I don't read the regular chat. I only read the super chats. But I'm talking about the private chat and Restream. You see the little sidebar for the private chat? I'm just telling you for the next time you in and you hear a conversation and you want to come up and join the convo when I have someone else on, I could just add you right in. But go ahead, man. What's your thoughts on AI?
Okay, well, so AI is simply a tool, and I mean you were right. I ain't gonna lie, but you had said, oh, this is not something I'm that much versed with. Man, shit, you guessed it. It's only a technology for speed, right? And she spoke on what does it mean for like Black people, et cetera, et cetera. The fear-mongering side of artificial intelligence is to have the elite take off with it, and so that
the consumers, we don't have it.
Yeah, just don't use it. So they'll fear monger. Oh, this is Terminator. Oh, this is the apocalypse. Oh, don't stay away from AI. And they're using AI like this, right?
Yeah.
I think companies create digital clones. Okay, that means I can get you to record your podcast. Man, you got so much content out here. I can take you and clone you.
Yo, Bryce, I heard of that, man.
It'll be you. It was like, Cooley, man. And then I can have you say something completely off the wall. The game is so unfair. And these people are using this at a high level and telling you to stay away from it. Not you personally, but if they telling our people, hey, stay away from this. This is danger. It could be the apocalypse.
No one said that we should stay away from AI. I'm saying we should be aware of it and understand what the implications long term is. When it comes down to it, where AI is just like the beginning of it, doing prompts and all that stuff is cute, right? But AI is way more than just putting a prompt in there and creating what you want. AI is also being used in robots, and they eventually are wanting these robots to like be sentient at some point. And they know that. That's why they have this thing called the singularity. They have a thing where AI and human beings will merge together and create like this superhuman. So it's beyond. So people are just like looking at like the surface of it right now, the beginning of it, and not understand where they're trying to go with it at the end. I understand where they're going with it at the end because I've researched it.
Et cetera, et cetera. So, we're using this as tools. I've been able to create ebooks in a week, right? I've been able to create courses in a day because the thing that I always say is AI plus AI equals AI. And that means actual intelligence plus artificial intelligence gives you accelerated intelligence. You know what I mean? You can
Fair enough.
If you're going to write a book about your life, you can simply feed your large language models such as ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini your life story. You know what I mean? And you'll feed it the story. It'll say you could write it in a book like this, and you can say make it more funny, make it more.
Here's the thing with that, right? Oh, okay. You could just use it. People don't even understand that they're putting all their information into a database, their story, right? Okay, you're putting your story into a database that is owned by who owns ChatGPT? One something. I forget what the company is. Google, I think, owns Gemini, and Google, if you know what their mission statement is, the whole own all human information, all human data. So all these AI like prompts and everything are just basically using human beings to feed AI and to make it more smarter. So we're using it. They're saying they make a little cute little quip. Oh, okay, you could do this with it, right? But the whole thing is that what they're doing is you're developing their software. You're developing their AI engine by putting those things into it, because you're telling AI, okay, well, this is what human beings are interested in. This is what human beings are whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so therefore you're giving AI its personality. You're giving it what to look into as far as humans. So it's almost like if you tell, like, say you went to the police and you snitch on somebody, you're giving them the information that they can turn around and use against you. Now they probably are not going to use it against you in that moment, but later on when you go to trial, then they bring everything up that you said during that time. So right now it's cute, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I could put this and I could make a little bunny rabbit hop or whatever. I could do this, I could do that, right? That's cute right now. But later on, what the goal is, what the AI is not the goal of AI is not just to like be able to prompt things and do. The goal of AI is to eventually go into a robotic figure that is able to communicate and this, that, the other. You know what I'm saying? Go into machines. That's why it's called machine learning. If you were to like go and take an AI course, it's called machine learning. Why? Because we as human beings are teaching the machines how to be us, basically. So that is what's going on. But go ahead.
And everything's happening like this. It's giving it back to you. Right? And then you can put on your book. It'll tell you a business plan, etc.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, I definitely understand what you're saying, and I definitely sense it. I definitely understand about the fear mongering part. Where I mean, that's always been going on, where they want to try to hold stuff from us, say to try to like think about it even with guns when we look at it. Like if we don't have access to that Second Amendment because we want to fear monger, well, guess what? If the government only has it, but the regular people don't have it, they're in full control. We can't do anything at all. We can't even stand up for ourselves. So even when it comes to any new inventions and technology, now I think that we should have some access to it. Maybe things should be regulated as well, but I think that the people should vote certain people in that's even going to be regulating the government, so the government doesn't do,
Say, not just the government, but corporations. You know what I'm saying? Listen, it is the fiduciary responsibility of any corporation to do what's best for the corporation. And sometimes what's best for the corporation is not what's best for us humans. That's why you have Nestle, like, and stuff like that, like putting water plants right next to like our sources of like springs and stuff like that, taking over, and then those springs end up contaminated. Why? Because the company itself, its job is not to care for what we want, but to make money, right? That's what a corporation's objective is, to make money. So when you combine corporations, you combine technology, and then you combine human beings, you cannot trust the organization, the company, the corporation to do what's best for us as humans, because it's their job to do what's best to create more money. And if creating more money means that that human beings might have to suffer in that standpoint, then that the corporation does not care about that. It's its own entity. So the bottom line is that AI is not being controlled only by the government. It's right now the corporations have control over it. There's no legislation. Now Kamala Harris was beginning to like talk about some of these things. Now I'm not really down with her, you know what I'm saying? What's his name? Cornel West was talking about that. I'm not sure what Trump's standpoint on AI is, but there does need to be some like government oversight into it, to where people are not being able to really, the AI cannot just come and begin to be used in like a subversive way to make people look like they said something they didn't say, things like that.
crazy things with the technology that's at their fingertips. But yeah, man, good stuff, man. Good stuff. You got anything else for me today?
Yeah, I'll just say one more thing about it. Okay.
Yeah.
We've all been in an AI loop since the 80s. Okay. Video games. You can fight on a video game. It says rookie, intermediate, hard, master. You're fighting AI. Okay. Even up to nowadays, if you're going on your phone and saying, "Hey Siri," you're talking to an AI. If you walk in a house and say, "Hey Alexa," you're talking to an AI. A Tesla is an AI. It is artificial intelligence. It is moving the machine forward based on an intelligent input that a human put in.
Yeah. But it isn't doing it on itself. It's still It's still coded with zeros and ones that was programmed and coded in for it to do certain things within this certain frame of work. We were speaking about the consciousness, meaning that it's creating its own code and it's thinking fully on its own.
We don't understand. We don't even understand our own oceans, our own brain. You were right.
Facts. Hey man, yo, I didn't even know you was a AI brother, man. Brother got the Vegeta Majin Buu tat. I respect it from last time, man. Hey, you watching the new Dragon Ball series called what is it called?
To dismiss what I said when it comes down to AI becoming sentient is ridiculous. And I gave a very good example of that with Vanilla Sky. We don't know where they are with AI. They're just slowly like flashing it out to us. We don't know where they are with it. So why is that a laughing point? Why is that like laughing it off, right? That's crazy to me. And it's that shows like the egoism sometimes when it really comes down in these male spaces with these conversations. So
hey brother,
you can test my wisdom some more, but what you want to know and what the team is doing, I'll definitely be glad to.
Yeah, I may have some work for you, man. But yeah, appreciate the call and have a blessed one, brother.
All right, take care.
Have a good one. See, callers, that's how it happens, man. You get someone in there, they express their talents and their knowledge, and it could be a possible. He could have a possible job, meaning that I'll pay him for his skills. All right, let's see. Well, first, we'll see if the
he didn't do all that with me, and I said I was a software
engineer. He'll get paid for it. Okay, Spin City, I'm going in there right now to accept his message request. So, yeah, man, that's regular stuff. When you go on these podcasts that pander to women, and a woman's way of thinking, and they just pander to the women. they're always going to take what you say out of context, and but we seen here. I played the full clip.
Yeah.
She spoke on things that I didn't speak about. I spoke about tear. She spoke about values. If you watch the full episode, all the things and values that she said, we've already, because we're speaking about something specific, we already granted it in the person. So when I'm speaking about values, when I'm speaking about tear, the values is already in the tear, right? Then she's speaking about the effects. I'm speaking about the cause. I'm speaking about, finances. I'm speaking about the things that the qualifiers, the things that a man has to have in order for the woman to even have in order for the man to even have a chance with a woman. So meaning that women have standards. They have height preference, they have race preference, they have income preference. If you're 5'2", if her preference is black but you're white, and if you don't make, and if her income that she wants is 200K but you only make 50, he could have all of those characteristic traits that she said, but she would still deny him. So that's a form of manipulation, because she spoke about effects and she didn't get to the root. I spoke about the root, but not only that, she obfuscated off of the main topic. So that's what happens, man. Listen, man, that's what happens on my regular day-to-day podcast, what women do. And it's even girls that's on my podcast that they may have their own podcast. They'll clip up some stuff that they said, just like that a woman saying like, well, you're not this and you're not that. And how are you not this? They'll put it up on their page and it'll get mad views. But this one just happened to be on a platform that got, that already has 2 million views, 2 million followers.
Yeah, exactly. And the things that she was talking about, I'm not denying that she probably wants those things in a guy and everything. But at the end of the day, she won't even have the care to find out those things in a guy.
If you don't meet the things that I stated.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like, that was irrelevant for her to say that and everything. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you want a virtuous guy, that has a good heart, She's obviously a religious person, is a man of God and all that stuff.
Nah, she ain't, bro. She a single mom. And
she was talking that God stuff and everything.
Nah, man. Ain't none of that, bro. Yeah. When you over your 30s, she even maybe 40, who knows? But when you that old and you ain't got no man, you don't got no man that's giving you commitment, and you out here just talking online, like that ain't that's what you can have nothing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's crazy. But Duke before was talking about AI and everything. I work as a brewer right now, but I actually started a course on AI, trying to become a prompt editor. I figured out, like, if you're good with the English language, you can learn how to manipulate that system very well and everything, because I'm trying to go remote and everything. Which brings me to my question that I got for you.
Yeah.
So, what is it? What is your thoughts on the Passport Bros movement? And another thing, I know that you were able to find, a good woman, here in America and everything and stuff. You got yourself locked down and everything, but especially when you're dealing with the future generations and stuff, it's looking bleak out here. So, what's your thoughts on the movement and everything?
I mean, people can go ahead and do. I'm really not too knowledgeable on it, man. I don't really know about Passport Bros and Purple Pill and all of these different pills and these different ideologies and things that people do or believe. From my understanding, it's people that they travel outside the country and they talk to chicks, and they get in relationship with chicks. People been doing that. People been doing it. It's an even TV show on it. It's called
90 Day Fiance.
90 Day Fiance. Like, it's a whole TV show where
the most awkward couples though, man. It's so crazy watching that damn show. But
they do.
I mean, here's my experience with that whole thing. Now, up until I was like 28 years old, like, I've been dating American chicks my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like, the nonsense that you get with them, I didn't really think too much of it because it was just normal to me. And then one time, I decided to take a trip to Jamaica, right? And when I was going out there, I always wanted to go just because I love the culture. I love the music.
My man fell in love with a Jamaican. You fell in love with a Jamaican girl.
Well, it wasn't really a love thing. It was just more of a thing like, let me see, because Passport Bros wasn't even a topic at the time. So I was just thinking like, while I'm out there, I got to get me a story out there and everything. So, get on a dating site, fish through a few chicks, have a few conversations. I find the one I like. And boy, the experience was way, way different. It was way, way different, to the point where I came back here and I just started slowly looking at the women here in disgust. I can't help to say it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, so I get what you're saying, man. Of course, women in other countries, influence creates thinking creates behavior. So women in other countries, they have a different culture, they have a different set of values. And then not only that, it's a different, social economic status that they'll have, and they have less access to some of the things that we have. So with that being said, it can ground a woman. The woman can be more grounded. She can be more.
So once again, we're getting into women with a lower social economic status, and then they're looking up to the guy to take care of them. So it's almost like, man, you know what? I don't even want to go into it anymore. We're at 2 hours. I don't like to go past 2 hours. Bottom line is that when it really comes down to dating, we need to be understanding there's no one lesser than. You know what I'm saying? We are equal. Find a woman that's equal to you, because why would you want a slave? You know what I'm saying? Why would you want someone that needs you for every single like idea, thought, whatever, and can't think for themselves? You want a person that actually can meet you in the middle of the household, meet you in the middle somewhere. Thank you guys. Listen, at 6 o'clock Central, it's 3:44 my time. So in about 2 hours, I'm gonna be interviewing Prince Dinas Amir, and he's going to be talking about his search for Uhuru. He has a channel where he talks about going back to Africa, and he goes to different places in Africa. And we're gonna really talk about like some of his experiences, what he found. Please come back at that time. Make sure you guys subscribe and hit the all notification. Hit all so you get notified. I forget to do that a lot of times. Tell people to hit the all notification on the platform. So please do that. And with that, I just want to say thank you for the ones that like stuck around and check this live stream out. Shouts out to MD Rebel for coming up and giving his opinion. Shouts out to Kebron G, Dionysus Gomez, and all the people that were in the chat. Thank you so much. Peace.
Alchemize your energy. Darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up. Keep on pushing through. Now is the time. It's all up to you. Alchemize your energy. My friend, let your spirit be free. Don't give up. Keep on pushing through. Now is the time. It's all up to you. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, we will always take flight. Keep on pushing through the darkness of night. There's no limit, let's reach for the sky. Shine so bright from darkness to light.